Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the atmos character of our world around us, and today I would like to comment on some trends in modern historiography, especially with respect to ancient history, that for the last 3 or 4 decades people started focusing their attention, at least some of them, uh, into the nations or history of states, not only the nations, because many of them were multi-ethnic states, but as I said, focus was redirected by many scholars into the states, nations, and empires which were not so much in focus in the past. I mean, here the most visible example can be shown in case of enemies of the Roman state, like Roman Republic, later Roman Empire. I mean, for instance, studies on the history of Carthage really progressed due to the archaeology, and due to the fact that some linguists started studying the very modest remnants of Punic language tablets and texts, and modest mentions of the Punic history in sources we have available, and they were trying to write history from the Carthaginian point of view. There are many, maybe not so many, but there are a few good books, like the ones written by French historian of Cuban origin, Mr. Cherche Lancel, or now written by a relatively young historian, American one, Richard Miles. They are really pro-Carthaginian. We see that authors, despite the fact the works are good and they are using any material, historical material they have to write their narrative, but the main point that I'm referring to, I would say the main not so positive point in their books, is their infinite love towards the subject that sometimes interferes with their objectivity. But okay, it happens to many, even good scholars, that they love the object of their studies so much that sometimes they lose objective lenses through which they should look at the object they study. But this, as I said already, this is not the largest point. Another development of studies field that develops is are the studies of Etruscans. Actually, they were really neglected for long, but since 50s, 60s, thanks to scholars like Jacques Urgo or Raymond Bloch, and these studies really progressed, and they have many, especially in Italy and United States, many continuators. I forgot to. I have this book behind me here, but I'm covering it with my head. There is also a book from 60s, Roman Etruscan Cities by Howard Hayes Scallard, who was a classical philologist, and he was one of the first who, after studying Roman Republic, also directed a lot of his effort and attention into Etruscan studies. Another very interesting development we observe in the area of Hellenistic studies, especially Anglo-Saxon historians and Germans. This also makes my heart happy, but again, reading these books, we have to sometimes survive the endless lines of accusations against Roman state, how full of treachery they were, how deceptive they were, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, but Hellenistic monarchies were also fighting with each other, and they were waging really cruel wars without any rules. But okay, this is again the same problem that authors very often love the object of their studies so much. There is also some progress in studying of Greeks and Carthaginians conflict in Sicily. Yeah, since the fundamental work in the topic by Mr. Moses Finlay that was published as a part of three-volume history of Sicily, the progress was done also. That's why I'm telling you, despite the fact current science, especially humanities, but not only current science, is in very huge crisis. It's beyond any doubt this fact, but there are some developments, residual developments that give a little bit of consolation, maybe not hope for better, but consolation that still there are some people who would like to do something new or who would like to take some efforts to look at the old things from the new perspective. Not always the results of these studies are perfect, but it's important that they are there and new ones are slowly coming. The recent book that looks at the old empire, non-European one, this I mean Persian Empire, in a very new light was already reviewed by me in the video review. The book entitled Persians and the subtitle The Age of the Great Kings by Mr. Llewellyn Jones. And we see that this book really fills the gap, despite the fact has some flaws I mentioned, but it fills the gap and encourages other people to study Great Persian past. And thanks to these studies and our own rational thinking, that should remove emotional approach of many authors to the object of their studies, we are getting more and more complete picture of beautiful period of antiquity. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.